Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx, still not in the DJcity UK lab. I'm in a hotel room in Los Angeles. I've got jet lag because I've travelled from the East Coast to the West Coast, woke up at 5 AM, and I thought, you know what? I've got this thing in my bag, I've been playing with it for a few days. Why not get my review done of this in one of the environments where it really does shine? This is the Numark DJ2GO2 Touch. Let's get into it. A couple of years ago, I reviewed the DJ2GO2 from Numark, and as is always the way of these things, it was only a matter of time before we saw a sequel. As with its predecessor, the DJ2GO Touch is a 2-channel controller with a street price of around $80. It works natively with both the free Serato DJ Lite and with Serato DJ Pro if you have a license for that. A couple of other things to make clear from the start. This is one of the most affordable controllers on the market and also one of the smallest, about the same width as a 13-inch MacBook with a very low profile too. But that means you can't expect things like metal construction or every control that you might want. Somewhere there needs to be compromise when a company makes a device like this. So yes, the construction is plastic, but it doesn't feel fragile at all. I had no qualms about just throwing it in my suitcase, and it survived a fair bit of travel without issue. The buttons are all quite clicky, but again, feel solid enough. The big, and to be honest, only noticeable difference between the Touch and the DJ2GO2 is the jog wheels. This time around they have a capacitive metal surface on top, meaning that when you touch them they activate and you can scratch instead of pitch bending. Bending can still be done by handling the sides of the jogs. Now I did talk about the difficulty of scratching when I reviewed the DJ2GO2, but to be honest that was as much about the size of the jog wheels as it was the way they were controlled. So whilst I do welcome the change as it feels more like bigger, more expensive controllers, I don't think it will have much impact on the way DJs will use the DJ2GO Touch. If you really wanted to scratch on it, you could, but I can't really see why you would bother. If you're a beginner for whom scratching is a high priority, you'd be much better off investing in a portable turntable like the PTO1 Scratch as your first piece of gear instead. Connections are basic but do the job. Both headphones and master output are on 1/8-inch jacks, and that's it apart from the USB connection. I'd love to see Serato introduce an option in Serato DJ Lite to be able to use your laptop speakers for the main output, as you can with Rekordbox. As it stands, you will need to hook the DJ2GO Touch up to a speaker of some sort in order to hear your mix. Sound quality is pretty good considering the price of the unit, and as with the previous one, the output levels are healthy enough for the majority of uses. My one actual complaint about this device is the type of USB connector used. It's a mini USB. It works fine, but that rather aged connector is just not as commonplace as micro USB or even USB-C, so picking up a replacement cable will be more of a hassle. Whilst the number of controls on here are limited, there is enough to pull off a decent performance. In the middle is the browse and track load controls, as well as the crossfader. Although there is no physical curve control, that can be adjusted in both Serato DJ Lite and Pro, as can the Master Q blend. There's no split Q available. Each deck has a pitch slider, which is surprisingly accurate, a level control knob, and 4 performance pads, which can be used in 4 different modes: hot Q, auto loop, manual loop, and sampler. In Serato DJ Lite, the loop lengths are fixed at 1, 2, 4, and 8 beats, as that's what the software offers. But in Serato DJ Pro, you can manually choose different lengths if you prefer. The big thing which is missing for me on here is any kind of frequency control. I'd love to see a bass EQ or a combo filter. Taking out bass during blends is, for better or worse, a standard DJ technique in 2020, and there's no way to do it by default on this device. If you're using Serato DJ Pro, it can be remapped, so I might be tempted to use sync and remap the pitch faders to be a combo filter, but you can't map the majority of internal mixer controls, so there's no way to map, say, a bass EQ. So let's get into who the DJ2GO Touch is for. Well, firstly, there's no doubt that this is a very fine beginner device indeed. It's under $100, and Serato DJ Lite will work with pretty much any modern laptop or desktop. It will also take a beating, and so should survive being kicked around a teenager's bedroom quite happily. On the other hand though, as I said with the DJ2GO2, this is a very useful device for more experienced DJs as well. I know a lot of DJs who have to produce things like radio mixes while traveling, and if you want to keep things live rather than in the box with something like Ableton, the DJ2GO Touch is a great solution for that. It needs no power, will fit in your carry-on bag, and works with a lot of people's favourite software. It's also great as a backup or something to pull out at after parties. It's a real Swiss Army knife controller. So there you go, my take on the DJ2GO Touch from Numark. As always, with a device of this kind of size and form factor, there are going to be some compromises, especially if you're an experienced DJ, you already have certain ways that you do things. You might find that a bit tricky with this device until you get into a bit of remapping with Serato DJ Pro, but of course, that is completely possible. If you are a new DJ, a beginner DJ, someone who wants to get into DJing, this remains a fantastic choice, simply because it's great value and it focuses on the basics of DJing, the fundamentals, you know, beat matching, blending, mixing. That's what this is all about. It doesn't have too many kind of fancy features, but really when you're starting out, that's not so important. You want those fundamentals covered, and the DJ2GO Touch absolutely does that. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.